If you're a realtor in the Nashville area and you'd like to earn additional income from your marketing you're already doing while also gaining access to powerful co-branded tools to grow your business, this presentation will walk you through exactly how the BDM program works and how it's going to help you grow your business and make more money every single month. Thank you. Let's get started with the presentation. Started here. I'm going to do this presentation and I'm going to make a recording of it. And that way I've got it available for people who can't attend the live meetings. This is the first time I'm doing it, so not a lot of people on here this time. I don't expect we're going to get many questions or anything, but I did want to present this information. The presentation should take about 30 minutes. If people ask questions and stuff, it could take up to an hour, but I'm anticipating about a 30-minute presentation to get through this material. And then if anybody does have questions at the end, that's fine as well. So this is going to be a brief overview of the business development program here at NEXA. This is a new program. I've gone through a few different trainings on the program myself. They've ironed out some bugs and stuff like that. I feel like it's in a good enough spot now that I can roll it out because I didn't want to basically be a guinea pig before they got these bugs ironed out. So I also wanted to make sure I understood it completely and the benefits to our partners before presenting it. Now that I've gone through a few trainings, I feel pretty good about it. I'm actually super excited about how this is going to help us grow our business together. We just got this approved about 3 months ago, and I just got my first office onboarded about a month ago. I've already been doing a lot on my own to help my realtor partners by providing outstanding tools like list reports, the home report that customers receive every month, the free Key Steps app. I pay for it so that customers get to utilize it for free, and I get to co-brand it with realtors for free as well. Our co-branded loan application, which I'm going to get into shortly as well and go through that a little bit. The great thing about this program is that it can work extremely well alongside these other programs and these other things that I already make available and that I'm already using, and it's going to make things much easier on any of our BDM partners to participate in the BDM program and get paid on the program. Additionally, you can utilize your own marketing tools you already have available to co-brand and market together on social media, website, or other platforms you may have available to you. I know that a lot of realtors have their own things already set up, and a lot of those things allow for co-branding. So if you want to use your own stuff, that's fine as well. What we need to do is we just need to be able to prove that you are basically co-brand marketing us, and that allows us to pay you on this business development program. So we're going to get into that here shortly. First, I wanted to give you a little bit of background information about who I am, why I've built such a great partnering platform for agents. So I was originally an agent myself, and here's how I kind of got there. So I'm originally from Columbus, Indiana. I graduated from IUPUI School of Business in 1994. If you're not familiar with IUPUI, it stands for Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis. And so it kind of combines the best of both universities into a single school. It is the third largest university in Indiana. It's larger than Notre Dame, so it gives you a little bit of information on the size. And IUPUI, because I was in the School of Business, I was actually considered as an Indiana University student. My wife and I moved to Bloomington, Indiana. That's where she got her graduate degree. And then once she got her graduate degree from the University of Indiana, part of that was they sent her on an internship to Louisiana because she was a school psychologist. And so we moved to Louisiana in 1998 into the New Orleans area. And that's kind of what got me into real estate initially. I got my start in the industry in 1998 when I joined Keller Williams as a realtor. I was the 9th agent hired by then Market Center Administrator, and the broker of that office in Metairie, Louisiana was Bob Kalinsky. He hired me for that Metairie, Louisiana office. I became the expired listing specialist. I went to a 3-day seminar by a guy named Bill Ayotte, and he taught me how to, it was an expensive program, but he taught me how to go out and relist expired listings and how to do that very successfully. And so I was carrying between 10 and 15 listings pretty much all the time once I got that perfected, and they were all expired listings that I relisted. Then I had my first child in April of 2001 and decided to switch over to mortgages. After 9/11 of that year, the market slowed dramatically. Listings were just sitting there and not selling, and I was sick of working nights and weekends so much. And so I decided to move over to mortgages at that point in time to spend extra time with my family so that I could work more of a, just during the day kind of shift, not a lot of weekends and stuff like that. So I started originating loans in 2002 during the refinance boom. And that was also during the, we were doing a lot of subprime lending at the time. And so you could make good money. The first month I was a loan officer, I think I made like $6,500 the first month. So it was a pretty crazy time. I moved to Tennessee in 2004 and purchased my home in Murfreesboro in 2005. I have worked for 2 banks and several retail mortgage lenders over the several years I've been doing this, but I started with NEXA in January of 2023, and I love working for the largest broker in the country due to the flexibility of products and programs that we have, the better rates that we have, and also the better service that I can provide, because I get to select which lender I want to work with, and I try to make sure that it's the lenders that give the best service. So currently, most people in the industry, and especially realtors, are already engaged in many aspects of marketing to pick up new business. You may be spending $1,000 or more per month on marketing using web promotion, social media marketing, possibly even some print advertising and things like that. Or maybe you aren't spending much on marketing at all, but you'd like to increase your marketing spend to increase your business. This program is designed to reward you for your efforts and provide you with a lot of extra money to use toward increasing your marketing efforts and increasing your business exponentially. And I'm going to get into exactly how that works here shortly. So you basically just simply, you just keep doing what you're doing to bring in business, and with your marketing, and then utilize the tools that are currently available to you and the tools that we provide to you for free. You can include co-branded flyers that you create through list reports that we provide to you. We're going to provide you with list reports for free. Once you list a property, you can do open houses, complete social media marketing through that system of list reports. Additionally, we're going to provide you with the co-branded Key Steps mobile app, which you can promote to your clients through email, social media marketing, things like that. Get people to sign up for the free Key Steps app, and it can also help them by improving their credit scores. I use it pretty much exclusively, and I don't use any credit and any of those credit repair companies that charge people so much money. Key Steps is free. It's going to help them bring their scores up without charging them $120 to $150 a month. So it's a wonderful tool for that reason. So you get to use list reports, you get to use Key Steps, the mobile app, and you can post those things about those things on social media and other sources. You can also utilize the co-branded loan application that we're going to provide to you. The co-branded loan application is really great because what people do is they sign up, they do the loan application, it's going to request documentation from them, they upload that directly into the system. We do the pre-approval within a couple of hours and have that out. And then the nice thing is when they use the co-branded loan application, it's going to keep you informed every step of the way. It is connected to, for instance, I use United Wholesale Mortgage a lot. When an underwriter approves a loan through, when I submit it to United Wholesale Mortgage and they approve it, they are going to change the status of that loan to approved with conditions. When that happens, it automatically notifies my CRM that it has been moved to this other stage. My CRM is then going to send out messages automatically letting you know that it's been approved with conditions. Next thing they do is they say, whenever conditions are submitted, it's going to move the status to conditions submitted. You're going to get a notification, conditions were submitted. Then we get a clear to close. It's going to change the status to clear to close. You're going to get a notification, we're now clear to close. All this happens automatically through the CRM because it's connected to the lender in their system. So it is incredible how everything communicates together. Make sure you stay in the know and that you know what's going on with the loan every step of the way. Additionally, I'm going to be following up as well. I like to do a lot of video messages to people to let them know what's going on with the process and with the loan and kind of where we are. So you'll get some extra communication there as well as we go through the process. So whenever you are utilizing the co-branded app, I'm going to have a custom URL for you set up, and then you'll be able to provide that URL to your customers through email, text, social media, whatever it is that you use. And that way they go in and complete the co-branded version of the app instead of my own personal version of the app. And that is going to be a better situation for everybody involved. The next thing that happens is when we close a transaction together, you're going to get paid by NEXA Mortgage for your marketing efforts. I'm going to set you up at 50 basis points. There are some fees that come out of that, but that means that you're going to receive, I've figured it up, there's a formula, right? So I figured up the formula and figured out how much it works out to. You're going to receive 44 basis points per transaction. So what that basically means is that for every $1 million worth of buyer side loan production, you're going to receive $4,400 for that because of your BDM marketing efforts. Keep in mind, we're not paying you for referrals. We are paying you for marketing us. And that's the difference. That's why this is compliant. That's why our owner, Mike Cortaz, was able to go out and go to the regulators and figure out how to do this legally, because we can pay you for marketing, we just can't pay you for referrals. So that's how that works. If you're out there co-branded marketing us and that marketing is bringing new customers in, we can pay you for your marketing efforts, and then you can go out and utilize those extra funds to do even more marketing to bring in even more customers. So I am doing this differently than any other loan officer that I know of at NEXA, which is a huge advantage to you, because I was going to do this by office in an area and make exclusive to that office. But I haven't been able to get any of the market center administrators or managing brokers to get back to me on it. So I've made a change, and I've decided to make it exclusive to an area. So in other words, I'm going to count this as a market center, like the Nashville Market Center, for instance. And as long as we can get at least 5 BDMs signed up within the market, then instead of people making 25 basis points per transaction, I'm going to be able to get everybody set up at 50 basis points per transaction. My belief is that if I start off with at least 5, when other realtors see what's happening and see how much money those 5 are making, they're going to be asking them questions about it, and other realtors are going to want to jump on board. And so that extra volume is going to allow us to do this at 50 basis points instead of 25. I do believe that what we lose in income, we're going to make up for in the amount of volume that we're doing. I have a P&L system at NEXA, and right now I do have some marketing dollars available. Some of those marketing dollars are going to go to the BDM. It comes out of the P&L, and then I also use about 25 basis points of the marketing of the amount that I receive on each loan. About 25 basis points goes towards my own expenses that I already have. I'm basically fine with making less on every transaction if I'm able to increase my volume by doing so, allowing my partners to make more money on every transaction. It just makes sense all the way around. I believe that most market centers or areas will easily get at least 5 people to sign up on the front end. And then, like I said, others will want to join when they see how well it's working and how much money those realtors that have signed up are making. Additionally, I am Pro Elite with United Wholesale Mortgage as our main partner, and I have the ability to scale using their processor assist. And that means that no matter how much we increase the business, we'll be able to scale that because of their processor assist and how much business they can handle, because they are doing more business than, say, Rocket Mortgage. They do more loan volume than Rocket Mortgage. So they have all of these processor assist people already available that can help process the loans and make sure we don't get bogged down. Additionally, because I am Pro Elite with them, our clear to close average is between 8 and 12 business days, which is much faster than the industry average and much faster than most of these retail lenders are doing it, or banks are doing it right now. So as an example, I'm considering the Nashville market as one market center. I believe we can start with at least 5 to 10 BDMs and build that up to 40 or 50 BDMs within a year. That's my goal. I already take part of the money I make from my transactions and I put that into my growth and marketing ledger, which allows me to expense things pre-tax to pay for things like list reports, home report, key steps, arrive, and my RAD CRM that I use. And it also allows me to do some Facebook and other social media marketing, which includes a virtual homebuyer seminar that I typically go out and do monthly. These tools I'm already paying for makes it much easier for you to get paid as a BDM, because you can utilize those same tools that are free to you to help market me through our co-branding. My goal is to make less on every deal, but to increase volume exponentially, and I have the capacity to utilize more processors and loan officer assistants to meet the extra capacity as we grow the business. When I get you set up as a BDM and approved to start getting paid, I will get you set up with several systems that are free to you. First, through my CRM, which is RAD CRM, I will get you set up with a custom lead form with your own custom URL. When you submit a lead through that form, you're automatically going to receive a notification that we received the lead, and the customer will receive a notification that we will be giving them a call, and they have the option to also schedule an appointment on the calendar if a call isn't going to work that day. Second, through our origination system called Arrive, you're going to have a co-branded loan application with custom URL. When a customer completes it, your name's automatically on the loan, and as the selling agent, and you're automatically going to be notified at each stage of the transaction, as I described earlier, as the processor moves the file through each stage, like submission, approved with conditions, conditions submitted, clear to close, etc. You're going to get notified every time it changes statuses. Third, you're going to have the co-branded mobile app called Key Steps with your own QR code. The mobile app helps customers with finances, bring up credit scores, and has an excellent home search tool included with it. The other nice thing about Key Steps is that it is completely self-contained, so their information is never sold to other companies. It kind of combines things like Zillow, Rocket Money, and say Credit Karma. It combines aspects of all three into a single app, and like I said, it's self-contained, so their information isn't sold, whereas if they were using any of those other companies, their information would be sold to third parties. Fourth, we're going to send you a registration for list reports once you are set up with me and connected to me on list reports, you're automatically going to receive co-branded marketing kits for any new listings that you put on the market. Once we close a deal together, the customer will start receiving co-branded home reports on purchase transactions from that same system. It's also going to be co-branded. That way, we both stay in front of the customer every month from the time they close, and they are only going to think of us for future transactions. Fifth, I used to use a company called Authorify, but I've stopped using them for now. They can produce co-branded home buyers guides that are in digital format, but we can also have them printed. I can start using them again if agents find value in handing a printed, co-branded, pre-approval home buyers guide to a customer. Once we are producing enough business so that I can cover the cost out of my marketing ledger. The cost to me for this program is a minimum of $300 per month. Could go up from there depending on how much print I need to have done. So it's an expensive service, but if it makes sense, I can start doing that as well, as long as we have the volume that my ledger can cover the cost of it. Here's something that most agents are not aware of that I wanted to talk about briefly. United Wholesale Mortgage is the #1 lender in the country. They're also wholesale only, so they do more business than Rocket, but have much better rates than any bank or retail lender, and can close loans much faster as well. Additionally, NEXA is the #1 broker, and our founder, pictured here, Mike Cortaz, and UWM's founder, pictured here, Matt Ishbia, have built an incredible partnership over the years. UWM doesn't have the best rates that I can utilize, but they have the best service and still have incredible rates, which is why I use them more than any other company. Servicing the customer and making sure we close on time is my #1 priority. Additionally, UWM has stated earlier this year that by the end of this year, they will not sell mortgages anymore. In other words, when somebody originates a loan with us and we use UWM, their loan will stay with UWM and they won't have to worry about it being sold to multiple companies later. That just creates an even better experience for our customers. I'm currently Pro Elite status with UWM for 2026, and as a result, I get the fastest turn times and extra benefits. As Pro Elite status, we are averaging 8 to 12 business days from loan submission to clear to close. That means that we are going to have a clear to close, and you're going to be waiting for 1 to 2 weeks for the closing date to actually happen. So you're going to be sitting here with a clear to close ready to go. You can either go out, see if people want to close early, or you can sit back and relax knowing that you are clear to close and that you're not going to miss your closing date, and you're going to know that a week or two before the closing date. This just basically allows everyone to relax, not stress out during the process, and it creates a much better experience for our customers. It creates a much better process for the client, and they're much more likely to refer us extra business in the future to their friends and family if they have a great experience. Additionally, UWM has something called Success Track, and they do have classes for realtors as well. They pay for the flight, the hotel, and lunch is provided. Additionally, NEXA has vans in the area, and instead of paying for an Uber, we can book a van to take us from the airport to the hotel back to the airport, and the only cost is to tip the driver. I receive partner points from UWM, and I'm able to use those partner points for customers to provide free closing gifts like cutting board with their name on it, free rate lock extensions if needed, and at times free appraisals when needed. When I order a closing gift, I make sure when writing the note to make it for myself and the realtor. I'm going to get into that a little bit more here shortly. When giving a free appraisal, I have the realtor give the free appraisal and just say it is because of the great partnership with me that we're able to do to provide it, etc. As you can see, I currently have about 19,550 partner points available due to my Pro Elite status with UWM. And the more business I do, the more points they give me. I can use the points, like I said, for closing gifts, ice bucket or cutting board if I want to. And like I said, I write a note with the gift that says it's from both of us. Additionally, I can use the partner points for other important features, as you can see here on the next page. I can use the points for rush files when needed, and I'll be honest with you, I never need to rush a file with UWM, but if we ever did run into that, I can use the partner points to move that file to the front of the line and get it clear to close. Additionally, free appraisals are 9,000 points. I currently have enough to provide customers with 2 free appraisals at this moment in time. When providing a customer with a free appraisal, I let the agent tell the customer they're getting the customer the free appraisal. So you can tell the customer you're getting the free appraisal due to the great relationship that you have with me as the loan officer, making you as the realtor the hero that saves the customer money. I hold monthly homebuyers webinars and have learned these techniques from a guy by the name of Bradley Pounds, who teaches this information. He's a realtor in Texas that has built an incredible business on his virtual online webinars, and he's written a book about it. I've got the book right here that I'm holding. I'll usually have 30 to 40 people register for an event, and 10 to 15 actually show up. Once I get customers pre-approved, I send them to my best BDM partners to find a house. As a previous realtor myself, I feel it's very important we are in this together, trying to generate business, as this creates a win-win situation for me and my BDM partners. This is an introduction to something coming in the near future that we're going to be rolling out. I don't even have a lot of information on this yet, as I go to a weekly NEXA meeting. We have a virtual meeting with over 1,000 people on there every week. And Mike has talked about this at the last 2 meetings, that he's going to be rolling this out. So not sure how many people are familiar with FSBO.com, but what they do is primarily have customers pay money to market their homes themselves instead of listing with an agent. What most people don't realize is that somewhere around 30 to 40% of those people end up listing with a realtor at some point in the future. In Middle Tennessee, we have about 2,000 homes that are for sale by owner each year. Statistically, somewhere between 600 and 800 of those 2,000 end up listing with a realtor. Most for sale by owners are not receptive to talking to an agent early in the process because they feel like agents just want the listing. Mike Cortaz was the #1 loan officer in the country prior to starting NEXA Mortgage, and he's built a business primarily through FSBO marketing. He would help the FSBO with flyers and other materials and letting them know. He would make sure customers are pre-approved, etc., before the person writes a contract. Then, when the customer would get sick of the process, Mike would offer to set up the customer with a great realtor in the area rather than the customer needing to interview realtors on his own. Realtors loved it that Mike was basically just giving them listings, and they would send him extra business as a result. I've simplified this a little bit, but you get the idea. Now, Mike has acquired FSBO.com. He went out and purchased it, and he's going to start training loan officers at NEXA on how to get the FSBO customers to let them help them set up with a realtor if they can't sell it themselves. We're going to be sending these listings to our BDMs pretty much exclusively once we start this process. So he is working on a complete overhaul of the website right now. That's what's delaying this a little bit. But once he gets the website completely overhauled and ready to go, then he's going to start holding trainings with us on how to utilize this marketing, and also how to get for sale by owners to allow us to help them. And so once he starts training us on that, I'm certainly going to be involved in that without question. And then once we're able to start utilizing that, I'll be helping our BDMs that are signed up obtain new listings through this process. So how to get started. The first step in the process is go to our basically go to our Why BDM Thursday Zoom meeting. This is going to allow you to find out more details about the program, ask questions. If you're going to be in the meeting, basically just let me know, and I'll want to be in the meeting as well. The meeting is every Thursday except for holidays. It's also in the afternoon. I believe it's like around maybe 4 o'clock Central, if I remember right. I'll have to look that up on the calendar to make sure, but it is every Thursday. Once you let me know you want to go to the meeting, I'll send you a registration link for the meeting so that you can register and receive the Zoom link. Through that live Zoom, we're going to make sure to get all questions answered, and you're going to get to hear questions from other realtors as well, or builders or whoever's planning to join as a BDM. Those people will be on there to ask questions as well. We usually have like 50 to 100 people in these meetings. So it is a wonderful live Zoom, and the key is we want to make sure to get all questions answered before we start the onboarding process. And then once we do that, if you decide to onboard, you're going to become a W-2 BDM of NEXA, and you'll be considered as a part-time employee. We'll get you set up with your own every account for our every payroll system for direct deposit. You're also going to receive just like me, you're going to have your own ledger. There's certain things you can do with your ledger. You can get set up with a divvy card like I have, and if you wanted to, you could move some of the funds you receive in your ledger to your divvy card and use that divvy card to pay for marketing expenses pre-tax. And then you can take the rest of it and pay it out as a W-2 employee. Or you can just have all of it paid out to you as a W-2 employee if you want. It's up to you. One thing that has changed recently is that the regulators are requiring BDMs to be set up with our systems like Google Drive, email, and you're also going to be set up with your own ledger. So you can use the ledger, like I said, to pay for expenses pre-tax if you want. There is a small monthly fee for the technology, which I believe is currently at $55 per month. Your first transaction that closes will pay for like 2 or 3 years of monthly fees. Additionally, Mike has said that he's currently working on a technology platform that will be free to NEXA because it will be internal. And so I pay technology fees over $100 a month because I have other stuff that I have to pay for. Mike has said all these technology fees will go away by the end of the year because of the platform he's working on getting it set up with, which will be internal, and therefore it'll be free to us. You can even keep some of the funds from your first transaction in your ledger and just pay the $55 per month from the ledger. One other thing is too, they usually charge on the front end, they'll charge a $75 fee for a background check because everybody has to have a background check, and that's $75. However, I will pay that out of my own ledger on your behalf, so you won't have to pay for the background check. Additionally, if we can get at least 10 agents set up from a single office or from a single marketing center in this case, and if we close 5 transactions total within a month, I will set aside funds from that in my ledger, and I will start covering the monthly tech fees from my ledger. There's a report that will take about 5 minutes to complete once per month, which just describes the marketing activities to bring in new customers. Our BDM manager sends the report to be completed each month. It's a DocuSign type document, making it super easy. And then additionally, when you send that back, or when you complete that, you also send in screenshots of some of the marketing efforts you did during the month with the report. The report and these screenshots is the key to us basically proving that you are marketing for us and not just receiving money for referrals. That's what makes us compliant and legal in every state that we work in. The only place we can't do this in is Arizona. And that's because they have some strange laws. But Mike has made sure that we are compliant in every other state and on the federal level as well. When I get a new customer set up in our origination system, which is called Arrive, I put a note in their file on the front end to show you as the BDM, and And when that loan closes, you will get paid at the same time I get paid based on the BDM contract we have in place, which is going to show 50 basis points. And that really means you're going to receive 44 basis points on that transaction. My goal is to make this as easy and least time consuming as possible, which is why I already have outstanding tools to help with these marketing efforts. The more we produce together, the more you make as a BDM, and the more funds you have available for marketing in the future. If you're concerned about the compliance and RESPA violations, don't be, because Mike he took about a year to develop this program, and he's already gotten approval for this program from the federal regulators in almost every state other than the Arizona that I talked about. Even though loan officers cannot pay for referral fees to realtors, we can pay for someone to market us as a business development marketer or manager employee. This makes sense because realtors should be able to get paid for their marketing efforts to bring in more clients. And if they are marketing us, the realtor should be able to get paid for that effort. There are other lenders and brokers doing something similar, but all the other companies are requiring the realtor to obtain and keep a mortgage license for their state, which is more complicated, more expensive. With those companies, they pay you as a loan officer similar basis points, but based on just obtaining the loan application and initial documentation on the front end. So it's more complicated, more difficult, more expensive to keep your license up to date each year. Why not get paid handsomely for the activities you're already doing, for the most part, just because you're including co-branded materials in your marketing efforts and on social media? To give you another example here, I brought up Bradley Pounds. He does the webinars, and he actually had a loan officer on with him on one of his webinars recently, and he was promoting that loan officer can get people set up as a loan officer, and he can pay them 50 basis points per transaction as a loan officer. And so it's very common. That's the way this is being done by the rest of the industry. But you have to go out, you have to do all your pre-licensing stuff, you have to do your continuing education every year, and then you have to pay all of the licensing fees every year. You have to get a federal background check and pay for that every year because that's required. So there's all this extra stuff that you have to do to maintain your loan origination license. And with us, when we set up a BDM and it's a business development marketer, we don't have to have any of that because we're paying you to market us. We're not paying you for referrals, and we're not paying you as a loan officer. So much better process, much easier for you, and a lot less hassle as well, not having to do all that extra stuff. So I can provide you with a registration link to the YBDM meeting on Thursday. Then just let me know you're going to attend. We can be on that call together. Make sure you understand everything in detail. Sometimes when I'm on there with a BDM or somebody who wants to be a BDM, we can sort of message back and forth on there if there are questions you have that they haven't answered yet. Because some things, they don't get into a lot of the details because different loan officers are rolling this out in different ways. And so, if there's any questions like that come up, we can get into that with no problem. Okay, let's see here. YBDM is always the first step in the process because I want to make sure you know everything you need to know about the program before we get the onboarding process started. Here's my contact information, and the dialmortgagecoach.com website is where buyers can register to attend my virtual home buyers seminar that I complete monthly. Here's also a list of states I'm licensed in, so even if you have someone moving out of state, you can still get paid as a BDM if you send them over, even if you're not going to be the realtor on that deal. This is because you're getting paid for marketing that brings us new customers, and you get paid when the loan closes. So even if the loan is in a different state, as long as I am licensed in that state, we can still pay you as a BDM. And I am licensed in these 8 states, as you can see here. Thanks for watching the whole presentation. I look forward to building a great working relationship that puts extra money in your pocket and helps us grow our business together. So that's pretty much it. If you do have any questions or anything, now's the time to ask. And I certainly appreciate everyone being on this presentation.